This particular sum is trigonometry, and here they have told us what to use. We have to use the sum of angles formula, cos of a plus b, and we have to prove that cos theta is identical to, remember these three lines mean identical to 1 minus 2 sine squared half theta. Now this should look familiar to you because of this identity. So we already have memorized this one. Cos 2 theta is 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. So there is a identity like this. It can be three lines, that means identical. It's alright if you write two lines as well. Now this means if this is double, this will be half. So if I write cos 4 theta, this would be 1 minus 2 sine squared half of 4 theta is 2 theta. If I write cos 10 theta, it would be 1 minus 2 sine squared half of 10 theta is 5 theta. On the other hand, if I write cos theta 1 minus 2 sine squared half of theta is half theta, or theta by 2. So that's exactly what's been asked here. You have to prove cos theta is this. This is nothing but the double angle half angle rule that we have already done and hopefully has been memorized. So this is how it should be done. The first thing that we do is we write left hand side. Remember, that's how Euclid proved his theorem, so we have to write left hand side. This is an essential part of the sum. So we write cos theta should be written as theta by 2 plus theta by 2, so that it becomes theta. So we have to break theta down into a plus b, meaning theta by 2 plus theta by 2, so that we add it up and it becomes theta. So the formula for cos a plus b, let me write it down here as a reminder. So cos a plus b is cos a cos b plus means minus sine a sine b. This will be given, but I highly recommend that you memorize this. It will be very useful if you remember this and you can do it very quickly. So this would be cos theta by 2 cos theta by 2, remember cos a cos b, here a and b is the same, minus sine theta by 2 sine b is also the same, sine theta by 2. So cos theta by 2 into cos theta by 2 is cos squared theta by 2, minus sine theta by 2 into sine theta by 2 is sine squared theta by 2. Now we got this, but the answer has to be in sine squared only. So using the identity sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is 1. So from here we can write cos squared theta is equals to 1 minus sine squared theta. So we can use this and change the identity, because it's all about changing the identities. We can write 1 minus sine squared theta. The theta will be the same, which is theta by 2. I use the word theta as a pronoun, so when they actually give theta by 2, so it is something you have to remember. When I say theta, I'm calling theta by 2 as theta, just a pronoun for any angle. Sine squared theta by 2. So by algebra, 1 minus sine squared theta by 2 minus sine squared theta by 2 would be 1 minus 2 sine squared theta by 2. This is sine s. So we have proved it, 1 minus 2 sine squared theta by 2. You can give a bracket, they have given a bracket. So now you write, therefore the left hand side is identical to the right hand side. You can give 3 lines. Proved. You can write a little proof here if you want to. Proved. Some people write QED, it's Latin. It was used by Euclid. In B they have given another sum. Usually they give two separate sums and they combine together for the final sum. That's what happens. So here we have to prove left hand side 1 plus sine theta minus cos theta is identical to this thing. And notice here every single thing is half angle. So in the previous one we have already written cos theta as half angle. Now we have to write sine theta as half angle. So if you remember, this was the rule: sine 2 theta is identical to 2 sine theta cos theta. That means sine 4 theta would be identical to 2 sine. Now if this was 2 theta, this would be theta. So if this was 4 theta, this would be 2 theta half angle cos 2 theta. If it was sine 10 theta, this would be 2 sine half of 10 theta is 5 theta cos 5 theta. Now similarly, if it is sine theta, it would be 2 sine half of theta is theta by 2 and cos theta by 2. So this is how it works, pretty much the same way. So we can write 1 plus, let's break this down because we need half theta, so this would be 2 sine half angle theta by 2 cos half angle theta by 2. So using the double angle half angle formula, minus, we just proved it, we write 1 minus 2 sine squared theta by 2. So this is the first step. So for that you're getting the first mark, M1. So this is the M1 that they're giving you. So this is M1. So the next step is remove the bracket. You can write 1 plus 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2 minus 1 minus into minus is plus 2 sine squared theta by 2. This thing and this thing cancels off, and you can take 2 common. You can take sine commons. If you take sine theta by 2 common, it would be cos theta by 2 plus sine theta by 2. That's how it works. So they have given brackets for this theta. Instead of writing theta by 2, they're writing half theta. That's why it might look a bit messy, or it might look a bit more complicated, but actually it's not. You can write it like this. So it has been proved. So therefore left hand side identical to right hand side. Proved. The final one, so now they have used the word hence. That means you use the 2 parts and you solve this. So this is a solving. Now solving an equation, we have done this in C2. This comes from C2, how to solve an equation. Now before we come to that, let's use the previous sum. So hence, so instead of 1 plus sine theta minus cosine theta equals to 0, so we just proved instead of that, instead of this thing, we can just write this thing. So instead of that we will write this thing because they said hence. So 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2 plus sine theta by 2. So we'll write that. So 2 sine theta by 2, so cos theta by 2 plus sine theta by 2 equals to 0. So that's what we have to do. So immediately we can break the sum into 2 parts. So for the first part, 2 sine theta by 2 equals to 0. We send everything to the other side, it becomes 0. Therefore sine theta by 2 equals to 0. Now if sine theta by 2 is equals to 0, we don't have to use the quadrant basic angle rule for solving the equation, because we need to have this memorized. So remember the quadrant. This is 0, this is 90 degree or pi by 2 in radian, this is 180 degree or pi. You should have this memorized in C3. And for 270 degree is 3 pi by 2, and 0 degree is also the same location for 360 degree, which is 2 pi. So sine 0 degree is 0, and sine 180 degree, I'm writing it in radian because this is C3 after all, is also 0. Now when they ask you the question sine of some angle equal to 0, so what can happen? It can happen 2 situations. It can be either 0 meaning 0 radian, or it can be pi radian. It can be 0 or pi, so the angle can be 0 or pi. So you just write it directly. So theta is going to be, if you multiply with 2, 2 into 0 is 0, 2 into pi is 2 pi. So that's what theta is. Remember, this is C3. In C3, almost all the trigonometric sums are done in radians. That's how it is done. So let's move on for the next part. So for cos theta by 2 plus sin theta by 2 equals to 0, this part equal to 0. Now we can send this to the other side, so we can write sin theta by 2 equals to minus cos theta by 2. Then we can divide this with cos theta by 2. So sin theta by 2 divided by cos theta by 2 equals to minus 1. Remember, you're dividing this, so this will be minus 1. So what we do here now, I don't have any space, let me get back here. So it would be the identity sin by cos tan theta by 2 equals to minus 1. Now this is the time where you have to use the C2 rule for solving an equation, and the rule is solving a quadratic equation. The rule is, first you have to choose the quadrant, then you have to choose the basic angle, then you have to find the angle, and then finally you have to select your answer based on the range of x. In this particular sum, it is from 0 to 2 pi. Remember, 0 means 0 degree, 0 radian, same. 2 pi means 360 degree. Now notice there is no equal to sign here. That means if your answer is 2 pi, you cannot select it, but if your answer is 0, you can include it. So previously we found 0 and 2 pi, so 2 pi will be excluded from our answer. So let's start doing the sum. The first thing we do, we have to draw this quadrant, and yes, you have to draw the quadrant. You have to draw the quadrant. So it is CAST, cast, and here everything is positive, A for all positive, here sign positive, everything else is negative. So tan would be negative here, and here only cos positive, so tan will also be negative here. So always make a mark with the horizontal line. Remember, that's the basic angle. So now we have to find the basic angle. So in quadrant, we don't care about the value 1, we just care about the positive or negative sign. So we select the quadrant. So step 1 is this one. For basic angle, so therefore the angle is theta by 2. This is arc tan, or you can write tan inverse, up to you. So arc tan 1. So here for basic angle, you don't need this negative sign, you just need the value. Remember this, for the quadrant, step 1, you don't need the value, you need the negative sign, so that you can actually select the quadrant. For the basic angle, step 2, you don't need the negative sign, you just need the value. So arc tan of 1. So arc tan is the same as writing it as, which most people are used to, tan inverse of 1, which is 45 degree. You should have it memorized. 45 degree means pi by 4. Remember, this has to be done in radian format, so you think in degrees but write in radian. So step 3, basic angle. So if this is pi by 4 and this is pi by 4, the basic angles, so here this is the second quadrant, so the angle is going to be, please remember not to break this, theta by 2. You cannot send the 2 here and write 2 into pi by 4. This is not allowed. You have to, till the end of the sum, you have to keep this as your basic angle, theta by 2. This is very, very important. You cannot break this down. So this basic angle theta, if you find the angle here in the second quadrant rule is pi minus basic angle. So this would be pi minus basic angle pi by 4. If we can do this, 4 into pi is 4 pi, minus pi is 3 pi. So this will be 3 pi by 4. And theta by 2 equals to, here in the fourth quadrant, it would be 360 degree minus the basic angle. 360 degrees is 2 pi minus the basic angle is pi by 4. So this would be 4 to the 8. 8 minus pi is 7. So 7 pi by 4. So now step 3 is done. Now we have to select our answer. Now for selecting the answer, we have to find theta. Now here we have found the basic angle theta by 2. So let's check. If you multiply 2 with 3 by 4, you get 3 by 2. Now 3 by 2 pi is 1.5 pi, so it is definitely less than 2 pi. You can do this simple algebra. If you multiply this with 2, so 2 into 3 by 4, 2 and 4 cancels, it becomes 3 by 2. That means 1.5 pi. 1.5 pi is definitely less than 2 pi, so we can include this as our answer. So the first thing that we found was 0. We'll include that. The next thing that we found was 3 by 2 pi. We will also include that. Here if you multiply this, it will be 7 by 2 pi. 7 by 2 means 3.5 pi. Now 3.5 pi is more than 2 pi. We cannot include it. As a matter of fact, we cannot even include 2 pi. It has to be less than 2 pi. So we cannot include that. So that's the idea. And one question that everyone asks, do we have to write this little radian symbol here? Little radian symbol? No need. You don't have to bother about that. You just write this down and this is the answer. Question number 2 is a simple algebra sum. Let's start right away. So we have to simplify this. So x squared plus 3x plus 3 divided by x plus 3. Oh, this is what we have to prove. Fx is actually this one, x plus 3 by x minus 1 minus 12 divided by x squared plus twice x minus 3. Now this is a pretty simple algebra sum. That's why it's called simple algebra anyway. But people face problem because they do it with bad habits. You have to do it in the simplest way you can possibly can, and the simplest way is to factorize this first. So you write x plus 3 by x minus 1 minus 12 divided by, now we need to factorize this. Now if you factorize this right here, it's a bad habit. You might make a mistake, so I recommend you follow the good habit and do the factorizing like this. We know x squared plus twice x minus 3 is equals to 3 ones are 3, so 3x minus x is 3 ones are 3, so that would be, if you take x common, it will be x plus 3 minus 1, it will be x plus 3, so this will be x plus 3 x minus 1. So you have factorized it. So now you can get back to the sum. So fx is equals to x plus 3 by x minus 1 minus 12 divided by x plus 3 x minus 1. So this is a good habit, because otherwise you have to keep writing this over and over again. So this is the first thing that you do. If you follow this, this will be a very good habit, and the chances of making mistake will be nil. Now there's no space here. Let me move here. Let me repeat, in your exam, try to do it vertically. This is a bad idea to do it side by side. They don't recommend it. So we take the LCM. So this one has nothing downstairs. This has x minus 1, this has x minus 1. So for 2 we write 1x minus 1 for these two, and the other one is x plus 3. So this one is x, there is nothing here, so directly multiply. So it will be x multiplied by x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 3, then plus, we have 3 times. If you have x minus 1 here and if you have x minus 1 here, so you need to multiply it with x plus 3, so it would be 3 times x plus 3. Then we have a minus sign. Be careful when you have a minus sign. So these two are present here, so just 1, so 12 into 1, 12 into just 1. So now we can simplify this. Now in order to simplify this, what we can do here is we can write it out like this. We can write x minus 1 x plus 3 plus, now from these two, to do it in the most simplest way, we can take 3 common. So from these two, if we take 3 common, it will be x plus 3 minus this 12 would be 4. So x minus 1 x plus 3. So it will save you a lot of work if you just take something common from this two. because multiplying this would be very long and cumbersome. So x minus 1, x plus 3 plus 3, so this is going to be x plus 3 minus 4, this would be x minus 1 divided by x minus 1, x plus 3. So remember, the trick is to take common, keep taking common. Now from here and here you can take x minus 1 common, x minus 1 common, so then it would be x plus 3 plus 3. You can use any type of bracket, first bracket or third bracket, but do not use the second bracket. The second bracket is reserved exclusively for sets, so you can use first bracket, third bracket, or first bracket all the time, bigger bracket, no problem, but do not use the braces, the second brackets. So now we can cancel this one and this one. When you cancel, it is extremely important that you remember, if you cancel it like this, they will think that you have actually cancelled the entire sum altogether. So please cancel it with separate strokes. This and this is clear. So now they will understand what you're doing. So what we can write here downstairs is x plus 3, and this one is going to be, let's multiply, x into x is x squared plus x into 3 is thrice x, and the 3 is separate. So this has been proved, it has been shown. Let's move on to the next one. So next one is a derivative sum. Now we have to solve this equation, f prime x is equals to 22 by 25. So we have to solve this equation. So for solving that, we can actually use this. Remember, even if you're unable to show this from here to here, somehow wherever you go, you'll get some points. Maybe you will not get the full marks, but you'll get some points. But even if you cannot get the simplest format, you just pick it up and do the next sum directly. Just use it here directly. So for here we have shown fx equals to x squared plus thrice x plus 3 divided by x plus 3. So we have to show what f prime x is. So this is u by v. Remember, this is f prime x, meaning derivative. So let me write down the rule here, the quotient rule of derivatives. If you have d by dx of u by v, there is a cool way of remembering this. If this is the higher part and the lower part, you can call this high, and let's not call this low, let's call this ho, high ho. So it will be ho d high minus high d ho divided by ho ho, a cool way of remembering this. So this is going to be, this is the ho d high x squared plus thrice x plus 3 minus high x squared plus thrice x plus 3 d ho x plus 3 divided by ho ho. Okay, a word of caution, keep it simple. So do not break the whole square here, do not break this down, keep it like that, keep it like x plus 3 whole squared. Now here this is going to be x plus 3, derivative of this is going to be twice x plus 3 minus this is going to be x squared plus thrice x plus 3, and derivative of this is going to be only 1. So we can simplify this by writing this as x plus 3 twice x plus 3 minus x squared plus thrice x plus 3 divided by x plus 3 whole squared. Now we can definitely simplify this by multiplying this, or if you remember, for this particular sum we had already simplified this, and actually that doesn't really help us. We have to, there is no trick we can use, we have to break this down. Let's break this down. X into twice x is twice x squared plus x into 3 is thrice x plus 3 into this is 6x plus 3 into 3 is 9, the long way, minus x squared minus thrice x minus 3 divided by x plus 3 whole squared. Let me do it here. So 2x squared minus x squared is x squared. Thrice x minus thrice x, this 2 cancels off. So this is 6x plus 6x. And 9 minus 3 is 6. Divided by x plus 3 whole squared. This is going to be equal to sign. Now can we do middle term break to this? 6 1's a 6. We don't get 6. 3 2's a 6. We don't get 6. So you cannot middle term break this. So this is the simplest thing. This is the simplest you can ever get to f prime x. Now f prime x is this. Let's get back to the original sum, which is f prime x equals to 22 by 25, and we have to solve it. So we can write hence f prime x, this is prime, equals to 22 by 25. So this would be x squared plus 6x plus 6 divided by x plus 3 whole squared equals to 22 by 25. So this is going to be, if we cross multiply, this would be 25 into x squared plus 6x plus 6 equals to 22 into x plus 3 whole squared. So if we multiply, this is going to be 25x squared plus 6x, actually 6 into 25, let me bring out the calculator. 6 into 25 is going to be 150. So this is going to be 150x plus 25 into 6 is again 150. You might not be able to believe, is it possible to get a sum like that? Well, the calculation is long, but it is a calculation that is not a special technique. It's a calculation that you have done before, only the steps are long. It's a lengthy sum, that's all it is. So a plus b whole squared, x plus 3 whole squared is x squared plus 6x plus 9. So this is going to be 25x squared plus 150x plus 150 equals to 22x squared plus 22 into 6 is going to be 22 into 6 is going to be 132. 132x plus 22 into 9 is going to be 22 into 9, 198 plus 198. Let's bring everything to the same side. So 25x squared minus, if we bring it to this side, would be 3x squared. 150x minus 132. So 150x minus 132x is going to be 18. So let's write 18x here. And 150 minus 198. 50 minus 198 is going to be minus 48 equals to 0. Now we always try to make the equation as simple as possible. So we can divide the whole thing with 3. There is a 0 here. What we are actually doing, we're actually taking the 3 common and sending it to the other side, because if it was an expression you cannot just divide it by 3 because there is no both side. Here we can do that. We are just taking the 3 common and sending it to the other side. So 3x squared divided by 3 is 1, so x squared. 18 divided by 3 is 6x. 48 divided by 3, 3 1's are 3, and 3 6 is 18. 0 divided by 3 is 0. So this is what we get. We have gotten the most simplest form, and it's always a good idea and it's essential to do the sum like that where you simplify it the most. So the middle term break is going to be 16 is 8 2's are 16. So 8x minus 2x minus 16 equals to 0. If you take x common, it will be x plus 8. If you take 2 common, it will also be x plus 8 equals to 0. So one is x plus 8 and the other one is x minus 2 equals to 0. So here we have, therefore, x equals to minus 8 or x equals to 2. Now shall we take both the answers? So it is usually a clue should be given in the question They're telling us to solve this. Now we have two values of x. Is there any other clue at the beginning? Yes, x has to be positive. So at the beginning here, after by giving a comma, they give you a clue of the value of x. Always keep an eye on that, because if you write both the answer now, you will not get the final mark. So one is negative, other is positive, so you write answer x equals to 2. So that's the answer for this.